welcome to Dark Days Radio. This is our main episode, and it's our 2024 roundup episode because we clearly have got busy with things and have produced the episodes we wanted to do, such as a cult deep dive. We still want to do that. We'll get to that. Anyway, I'm Chris, one of your regular hosts. I'm joined by Crystal. It's audio, so you have to say hello.
I was muted.
It has been a minute since we did one of these.
Yeah, joined by Chigg.
How do we do this again?
Hi, everybody.
And joined by David.
Hi.
And Mike is off doing something more important because, we're all busy people right now. So I thought we'd just do a roundup of what the year's been like, highs and lows, and what we want to do, what was cool, things that are coming up that are going to be good. And just, So 2024, how's it been? Interesting, good, bad? I would say it's kind of good-ish, mixed with a smattering of bad. Do we need to talk politics? I mean, we've got the Tories out, so I'm happy.
My 2024 started out with me in fight or flight response, the entire first half, and then with the new job, that all kind of went away. And so the later half of 2024, minus the beginning of November, has been much better.
Yeah, because my year started out, I was 6 months into a new job, so I'm now, and that's been great. I've been reflecting on the fact that not working in academia has made me so much less stressed, which is great.
Hey,
not just saying that to you, David. I mean, David, come to the dark side. Come to the dark side. It pays well.
I was going to say, what's this about stress in academia and moving and sick countries and what? Time zones? Ah!
Yeah.
I think we all started new jobs, actually, within the past...
Within this year, at least us four have.
Part, yeah. I think
That's
Mike's
crazy.
the only one that hasn't.
Yeah.
Not that he's told us, anyway.
Well,
he's got side jobs that he keeps.
Does he?
No.
No.
It was that thing that he posted in the Discord about.
Oh.
Contract killing. We don't talk about those on the show, though.
I keep forgetting that.
So I mean, let's start with. Well, we won't go into the bad things. We might wrap up what's been bad in gaming because there's always something bad in gaming. We can critique how that's going. But what's been a big highlight then in gaming for you? We'll start with Chigg. What's been something that stood out as that was pretty good in hobby stuff?
Well, just personally, I finally convinced my local group to start playing Shadowrun. So that was super fun because I've been a long time Shadowrun fan, and none of them third edition, a little bit of both, never sixth, gross. Because none of them had ever played it, and I've been a long time fan. So I said, hey, if you guys want to keep playing, I'll run this. And they said, we want to keep playing. And I said, great, this is what we're playing. So that was super fun for me. I really enjoyed getting to go to Gen Con this year. That was super fun. Got to spend time with several podcast peoples, at least one of whom is on this call.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah. I wonder who got to enjoy all of that.
I wasn't trying to rub it in, I promise. I was being vague on purpose. I'm sorry you were sick, David. I'm so sorry.
I had great fun. I was in a wonderful Nightmare Before Christmas themed Airbnb for a week by myself.
That sounds better than being at work. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it's better than being trapped in a hotel as well. So
there you go. See, always look on the bright side of life. But yeah, that was the highlight of my personal gaming year.
Cool.
Oh, I did get asked to record an audiobook for a Mage the Ascension fan novel series. So gonna start doing that here pretty soon.
That's cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
David, hobby gaming highlight? Not COVID, obviously.
No. That would have been the highlight, but well, blame New Orleans. Hobby highlight. I suppose because I'm now over the pond, so to speak, in the Americas, actually getting to game regularly with a load of my friends who are over there. So I've run on the stream. I ran a Tales from the Loop game that was fantastic, and people go, "We need to do a second season." I'm like, "Well, effort." And then I'm playing a God's Teeth campaign for Delta Green, which is not streamed for. If anybody knows, that's not being streamed for various content warning issues. But it's a fantastic game. Having a lot of fun with that. In terms of what else have I done this year? Oh, VersenCon. I was part of VersenCon, where I was on some panels talking about occultism in 19th century Europe, and done a little bit of writing, mostly community content, but nothing big really on the writing side. Just a little bit of gaming here and there. Mexico has been good, but been harsh. So.
Crystal, highlights or
Yeah.
your gaming or hobby?
So a couple of highlights would be that I got to work on the Gloomhaven RPG. That
Mhm.
finally was able to go through everything, and all of my writing is submitted. They're going through everything for development now, especially with the system to make sure that it kind of matches somewhat of the feel of the board game. And that takes a little bit of finagling, but the developer that they have is fantastic. So
I'll be interested to see how they do that. So I've played the board game, and it is quite an interesting system. So I'll be intrigued to see how they bring that to the RPG.
yeah, so the developer that they have is Danielle Lauzon Harper, who, if you've ever like seen any of her blog posts or anything like that, she is a master at mechanics. If you ever get to listen to her talk about stuff for mechanic wise, definitely get the chance to. Other things. The Red Opera is now finally back in the hands of Rick, who is the owner of Storyteller Forge. It is no longer in any sort of limbo. So purchasing it, for those of you who have been holding off on that, because I know some people were, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And there are also going to be some new things coming out for that in the future, hopefully in the next year or so. And then obviously Gen Con, getting to hang out with everybody was really awesome. And introducing everybody to all of the people that happened to frequent there too was really, really a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm trying to think what the highlights for me were. God. I think related to Gen Con was Wrath and Glory Threat Assessment Xenos got a gold Emmy award for like best monster book, was it? I think that's what it is, best monster book award. So that's pretty cool. And I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I've done a lot of new freelance work, like video editing for Cubicle 7 for their advertising. So that's just good to do some other stuff to branch out. UK Games Expo was good, though I think one day is not enough. I need to do like more than one day to get around everything. But I think the other big thing was it's good that Eldritch Automata got funded because I'll be doing, that's part of plans for like next year. We'll talk about that in a bit. And let's see, I did PeachCon, so Chris Peach's like hobby wargaming convention. So I ran some demos of Wrath and Glory and War Machine there. So and I won a bronze for in the single miniatures painting category there for my Kingdom Death Black Knight. And I guess the other big highlight is just getting asked to basically, be the developer for a new RPG with the musician Le Destroy, but that's kind of like next year as well. Kind of fits into that. So, and then there's other books that have been out and stuff, but I think the big thing is just like getting the award, because obviously that means like when you say you've worked on something, people I hope pay a bit more attention. I know the Ennies is also a bit of a semi popularity contest as well, maybe. So it's like
Yeah.
it's the same with all these awards, I guess, because it ultimately comes down to people voting as well. So
I mean, you also did win an Emmy this year.
Yeah, so
So,
that's pretty cool. And yeah, I've painted tons of toy soldiers. Like I'm back into War Machine a lot and enjoying that a heck of a lot compared to the madness of 40k and Warhammer. So yeah, there's been a lot of hobby. There's been a lot of hobby and writing and stuff. But I don't feel like I feel like I've got more done without having to work as hard. I think that's if that makes sense, like not having to do as many projects, but feeling more accomplished for the work I've done. And I think that's kind of where we all want to be, is like not having to hustle so many projects because
I
you're
think
actually working on things that pay.
I think removing the day job stress has helped like immensely with that.
Yeah,
So, at least for me, it has.
it definitely has for me as well. Like having I think that matters. It's like having work stuff be like your job actually pays for what you're doing, and you're not being too stressed out.
Yeah.
Even though I say I'm out of academia, I don't know, David. How's academia for you these days? I mean, it must be good that you're not doing a PhD. You've passed
No.
all that.
Yeah, I'm
You're
a postdoc
postdocing.
now in Mexico. We don't talk about pay because there was a period where I wasn't.
Uh,
But that's
Yeah,
that's not a job thing. That's
no,
something
that's
else
admin.
thing.
I was
That's
very
admin
angry to hear
politics.
that.
Yeah, admin politics thing. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
enjoy. I enjoy what I do. I don't think I could do anything else at the moment in my life. It does though eat into all of my free time to do all the projects that you get to do.
You're a Python programmer. I can bring you over to the dark side.
I am
You
a Python
can
programmer.
work. You
I
can
am not working for
train you up.
AWS.
You can work in finance.
I do keep getting people
Wow.
ask me to work in finance, and I'm like, nope.
You really did mean the dark side. Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't work for a bank. I work for somewhere which makes the software for banks. That's very different, obviously. No,
You're
anyway.
just the enabler of banks. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I've got skills now. Like this last year, I've learned Bayesian statistics and how to code Bayesian and MCMC statistics. So people will be like, yeah, here's lots of money. Come code for it. I'm like, nope.
Good old Monte Carlo and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so what then? Let's say out of the projects that you've worked on this year that you can talk about, what has been one of the fun ones to have worked on? And that could either be, that can also be like streaming or podcast episode that was particularly fun to do. I will start, and I think I will say that I had, because it was particularly fun in the sense of also it was for learning purposes, was the upcoming scenario for Wrath and Glory, which is is a pure Eldari scenario. So all the players are Eldari, and it's full on
Horty-torty space elves.
It's got some good old body horror, some good old Eldari politics in there because they're absolute bastards to each other. But I think it was also particularly good because I did a lot of the initial layout work on it. So I got given the templates by Cubicle 7 and just told do the layout work, and that was just good learning and being told I was actually doing stuff correctly and quite well. And just there's lots of nuances. You realize that it just makes you realize that even behind the scenes at companies that are very good at doing what they do, there are still tricky little things that have to be solved to get layout to look how you want, with like if you're doing very clever things with chapter markers, where you have things highlighted and stuff, you kind of have to sometimes just fudge it. It's the only way to describe it. You have to fudge it sometimes.
Coders fudging things? Never.
Oh, yeah, never do that.
No.
So I think that's the main, I would say, an interesting kind of like highlight in terms of product, because I'm excited for it to come out and also to work on and to write and design it from the ground up. So that's been good. Anyone else?
One of the fun things that I got to work on this year was Cyberpunk Red.
Oh, cool.
I got to, and that required me to do a lot of research because I have never actually played any Cyberpunk before.
Right.
And
Okay.
so I know.
You have to
And
learn the system then.
I know, and so well, I didn't have to write any mechanics. I was world building.
Okay.
So
Fine.
so the mechanics part was actually something that I didn't have to worry about for this writing in particular. And it was for Night City, I can say that. My final drafts were just turned in last week, and so that's all good. Um and that's moving forward, which is really great to see. But I got to do things like watch my husband play Cyberpunk uh 2077 because I can't play first person games.
Ah.
And so he played it for me so that I could actually like look at Night City and like see some of the stuff that would be appearing in or had appeared in because Cyberpunk Red is set in 2045.
Yeah.
So as
Was it
before
was is your PC rendering it in lovely ray tracing?
I have no idea what that means.
So
Sorry.
basically, if you've got an Nvidia graphics card of what, a 3, you basically want a 3080 upwards.
Oh,
New.
I have.
Is it new?
You are looking at the wrong person for
Yeah,
that.
right. Yeah, so
Okay, so
I
what
am.
you need to do now is take the
I am an
take the
educator.
time to buy one and write it off as a work expense because you
yeah,
needed it for,
it's
for this
it's
project.
it gets particularly pretty.
Buy two, send one to me.
Um, but yeah, I mean, what did you think then? Like, because obviously, because I interviewed Mike Pondsmith back
Yeah.
right before the release of the game, and
Yeah.
obviously that computer game has had a rocky start. Let's just be honest, but
Yeah.
it did improve massively, and I think now is like a really they even brought out more updates for it just a couple of weeks ago. Like you can now recolor some of your cars, and you can have your car change color mid game, and that has actually a game effect. So that if you're being chased by the cops, you can trigger your car to just color shift and lose yourself in the traffic, which I think is really cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, what did you think of like as a setting, and I guess what you saw of the gameplay?
Yeah, I really, really like the setting. I've always kind of liked cyberpunk style games, but I've never actually written in a cyberpunk type of setting, and
Mm.
so trying to figure out like the vibe of all of that is very different, especially when you're doing the lore building. And so that was a particular challenge for me as a writer, but I like challenges. And so it was an opportunity for me to be able to kind of expand my expertise in that area. I really like the setting. I really, really want to uh, play in a game at some point and really kind of get to see like how players interpret the stuff that we are writing and giving them.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah, we should do a deep dive on it then. I think
I think we should.
possible.
Because
I, yeah,
then we can talk about that rule set.
Yeah,
You can learn the
yeah.
rules.
I
Yeah, that'd be
mean,
great.
we can massage.
Chris
someone
has
needs
read
to
it.
learn the rule. Someone needs
gonna
to learn
say-
the rules.
I have read it, but it's been a while since I've read it. I feel
I've
like
played
I have.
Cyberpunk Red.
I feel
could run
like
it.
yeah, that'd be
Well
cool.
done,
Like, I
Chig.
know,
You've just volunteered. Thank you.
yeah, I know the
Yay.
setting quite well. Like I've played through 2077 at least anyway. I think maybe 4 times. So, and I've played Phantom Liberty. Phantom Liberty, that whole section of that game is like fantastic. Like,
I also got to watch the cartoon, the anime,
oh
which was
yeah,
really great. I liked
bits
it.
I like of it. Yeah.
I
Lots
am
of
very
people
easy.
enjoy it.
I am very easy to please when it comes to this type of stuff. I greatly enjoyed it. I am
Not
not
knowing the
nitpicky
setting, I
in
enjoyed it as well.
anything.
Yeah, so okay, that's cool. That's definitely something we should do then. Excellent. Okay, Chig, highlight of what you've worked on.
Highlights of something that I have worked on. I got to be on a guest on several episodes of Mage the Podcast with friend of the show Terry Robinson. We talked about Void Engineers. We talked about Cthulhu again. We talked about a really weird but fun book called There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, and memory and forgetting and what that can do in a game, both as a character and as a player. If you are not a current listener of Mage the Podcast, go ahead and give it a listen. It's a great show. Has hundreds of episodes to listen to at this point because Terry can't not record everything that he about the game that he thinks, and it's fantastic. So I enjoyed that.
I'm sure we've all been on it at some point. So if you like our voices, go find us.
Yeah.
I have not
And
been on there
then
yet.
David, what's been a highlight like that you've worked on?
Things I've worked on. I think there's something I'm working on at the moment, which I think is pretty fun for me because I'm being the other side of the game. I'm actually playing in a game, which is I'm not quite sure how that works, but I'm recording for my own podcast a long play kind of campaign for Versen, and we're 7-8 episodes in, and we've only just started the main story, and it all went very sideways, I suppose is the best way to say it, last session. It's not going to come out for quite some time because we've all got we all know you can never get the group together to game, so trying to get as much recorded before we send it out. But it's interesting to see because Veston I've only ever played as a single one-shot kind of game, and now we're playing it as this long format story. So it's quite good fun to delve into a character this deeply. I've never done it this well before, and then see it develop through the game as we all deal with our own traumas and then the weirdness that is happening in Uppsala, and it's all a bit fun. So whether anybody listens to it and enjoys it or not, I don't care. I've really enjoyed doing it. So
cool. Right. Okay. Let's change track then a bit. What's been a gaming release that you have particularly enjoyed that came out this year? So something new that you bought.
Are we meant to read the things we buy, or do we just buy them?
I would presume you've actually read it as well, because then you can actually give a valued judgment on why you enjoyed it.
All those things on my shelf, they open up and they have words inside. This is news to me.
Yeah,
we're not just meant to collect PDFs. I thought that's all this hobby was.
Oh no!
I've been doing it wrong all these years.
Let me think. I think I'll tell you what I because obviously I got sent it ready to do, so I didn't buy it myself, and I didn't work on it, so I got sent it to use at demo events, and the Wrath and Glory starter set I actually really enjoy. It's got a really good introduction and thrusts you into the action, and I think really gets to the heart of what kind of the epicness that you can participate in, and yet also the insanity of the Imperium. And as always, I think with the Cubicle 7 starter sets, you get quite a lot of good, you get a lot of good gear in there. You've got the nice fold out character sheets, and that has character art on it for the other players to see and what your character's about. You get a whole load of tokens. You get the scenario booklet itself. There's even a booklet in there that explains more of the setting, which is useful because you can't get it separately anywhere, and the information in there is useful game information. So it doesn't feel like it still feels very useful even if you've got the core book already. I think that's the point. It doesn't feel like a wasted expenditure, whereas sometimes I feel like some starter sets you're just like, why does this even exist if I've got the rule book? What's the is there an added value here?
Yeah.
Anyone else favorite hobby thing you bought or picked up and read?
So
oh, go ahead, David.
I was just trying to remember. I've just gone quickly through all my PDFs, trying to remember what's come out this year and what I've actually read. I've only partly delved into this, but it's the Electric State from Free League.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the replacement for Things from the Flood in a way.
Okay.
So Tales from the Loop is still a license of theirs. Things from the Flood has had one reprint, but I think is now OOP. And Electric State is kind of like the new 90s post weirdness. I don't know what style you'd call that. I can't remember what you call it now, but almost cyberpunk, post-apocalyptic robot stuff. It's all based in America this time. rather than having the Swedish stuff. So it's an American thing. Robots are not your friend, but are your friend. The art is Simon Stalsberg again, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And they are doing a TV series for it, like they did.
Yeah, I
for
was going to
Tales.
say that they're doing a TV series, and
Yeah.
like, I think who's in there? I think Chris Pratt, I think, is in
Oh,
there.
God.
Yeah, I know. Stanley Tucci is
Yeah.
also in there. I'm trying to think who else. I think Millie Bobby Brown is also in there.
Yeah,
as
she'll be in
well.
it. She's in it.
Oh, sorry, it's Millie Bobby Bovey now, isn't it? Because she
Don't
married.
know.
I'll take your word for it.
She married John
John-
Bon Jovi's son.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, is it Millie Bobby Jovi? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Anyway,
but it's very much in the setting is very much in the same kind of idea, and the way you play it is very much the same as Tales and things. You're a group of people going out investigating weirdness. It's not the massively combat orientated system. It's very much more an interactive personal system, and it's the Free League Year Zero engine, so it's super simple and easy to anybody to pick up and play.
Yeah.
So that's probably been my highlight that I can remember.
Cool.
It may have been last year. I can't remember when it came out.
You read it this year. That's what's important.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? Any particular purchase product theme?
So I'm gonna I've read a lot of stuff for research, specifically for Cyberpunk, and Gloomhaven. So I'm not going to use those. Instead, I have been doing like a personal audiobook series of seeing how much I can get myself reading again through audiobook because of my drive to work. And so this year I was able to read 25 total audiobooks on my drives to work. And they are mostly fantasy based. I would say probably a good chunk of them are fantasy based. And if you ever want suggestions for stuff like that, I have them. However, I am taking suggestions for next year for my reading list, but I would like occult-based books instead for recommendations. So for research purposes and just for my own knowledge and curiosity.
I'll say there's not many audiobooks around that do that, but I can give you a massive reading list if you want. It's not like most of my bookshelf is
I mean, I can track down stuff too. Like I have a couple audiobooks already that are occult based, and I'm talking like not just occult, but like supernatural history, like stuff like that too. So
cool. Right.
Chigg.
Urban Shadows 2nd edition came out this year, and it is fantastic. I ran a 2-shot for my local group, and they're not really urban horror fantasy type people, generally speaking, but I think they had a good time. I know I did, and that's what's important.
I want to play that so bad.
Having a good time.
Not the Kickstarter, the quick start for that has been out for years for 2nd edition. I remember playing it in, I think, the first virtual HorrorCon that Gehenna did, and that was 2nd edition quick start.
They just wrapped up their crowdfunding this year, and I got it on my shelf. So
yeah, it's a great game. It's a great little world.
It really is. And if that's something that Crystal would like me to run, I'm here for you.
So next year
you're going to be running a lot of games, Chigg.
Yeah, next year is Chigg Presents. we have a new channel, Chigg Presents.
Yeah,
Chigg runs.
Darker Days production, a Chigg Presents series.
Okay, cool. Let's see then. Let's just keep going then. So, what things that you're not working on are you looking forward to being released next year?
Blade Runner, where you get to play the replicants. I forget the name of the supplement, but the Blade Runner supplement that's coming out next year, where you get to play a replicant. Because that was something when the Blade Runner game came out, everyone went, "Why can't we do this?" And now they've done it, and everybody's really excited about it. And I want to see what they've done, because I have ideas, but I want to see how they've done it.
I believe it's called Replicant Rebellion.
Is it? I don't know. I backed it on
Was that
Kickstarter. I should probably know this.
I'm personally looking forward to the hard copy with the full art and full lore in there of the Trench Crusade rulebook, which I backed. So looking forward to that because Thomas Pernin, obviously from Mordheim and Warhammer notoriety, so that's going to be a kick-ass book to see arrive. I've got some minis that'll be on the way. And I've got some proxies I need to paint up. I might glue the rest together this holiday and prime those. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that book. RPGs. I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know. I can't think of anything else really that's taken my fancy yet that I've seen pop up. Maybe because I'm too distracted by everything I'm working on, I've not been looking too far out of the scope of it right now. So I'll say Trench Crusade rulebook.
There's another one I've just remembered. I don't know the system they're using, but it's definitely a world that I'm very interested in. I don't know if you know the game Tainted Grail. It's a board game. Yeah. They turn that into an RPG, and it's a dark Arthurian setting. Really dark Arthurian mythology, and I'd be really interested to see how they've expanded that world and turned it into an RPG. So they did what Gloomhaven have done and turned it into a world. So I'm looking forward to seeing that because it's very much kind of my jam with fantasy, dark, twisted, weird, end of the world kind of stuff.
Nice. I'm looking forward to Branch Riders, which is through Onyx Path. It is a RPG that's written by the Bodhana group that gives you opportunities to go to different worlds and solve problems and all of that fun stuff. I played during Onyx PathCon twice now as a playtester through stream, and I really, really love the system. It's really, really well designed, and the setting is really awesome. I've really enjoyed it. And that should be coming out next year, hopefully. Knock on wood.
Chigg,
I'm going to cheat and say that I'm looking forward to the 40th anniversary release of the DC Heroes role-playing game. It was one of the first role-playing games that I ever bought back when I was a small kid. And now that I am a very, very old kid, it's coming back for a 40th anniversary edition, which is really impressive because the company that made it went out of business decades ago. So
is this another one you're going to run for us?
No, I would not run this for anybody. This is purely a thing to put on my shelf and read and be like, oh, what a quaint, antiquated system. Oh, I'll never run this for anybody.
There's a game like that in Warhammer. It's called Hero Quest. Everybody loves the idea of it. It's garbage. Now everyone's going to hate me. No one's ever going to speak to me ever again.
I know people who love and play Hero Quest. I'm not one of them, but I know they exist. So good for them.
Well done. You play a really bad rule set. Yay.
Cool. Okay. Right then. Things we are looking forward to that we are working on next year, or projects that we want to do next year. So start with David. Is there anything you can talk about that's going to be coming out soon, or that you can say you'll be working on?
So there's nothing official. I've not done due to moving countries and all sorts of other stuff. Yeah. I've not been able to reach out to people to get official stuff, but there's the playthrough for the podcast that's coming out. I've got a scenario for Versen, hopefully going to be finished in the next week or two. That'll come out. Then I have a project that I'm working on that I will talk about because I might try and bring people in. I'm going to do a Mad Max, or I have started to write a Mad Max themed Morkborg game.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
so
nice.
I've got a bit of it done. So it's quite easy. It's a really simple thing. I just need to work out vehicle rules.
Oh yeah.
and then I'm going to.
That's always a challenge.
And then I'm going to go, screw vehicles, they don't exist. But also, then it's I want to try and keep it in the theme of Merkborg and get some great art for it and stuff. But that'll come down once I've finished writing it. So, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to doing next year.
I think with the artwork, you can often kind of get away with kind of that more
For Merkborg, you can really just
sketch
scratch
kind of
it,
like
yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's cool. Crystal.
Stuff that I'm looking forward to for next year. Cyberpunk, Night City. I'm definitely looking forward to that. What else? A whole bunch of stuff coming up with Storyteller Forge. Like a whole bunch of multiple projects that I'm looking forward to working on. Pip system. The primer is going to be officially wrapping up. The last primer is going to be written by me, and it's kind of an homage to both all of the writing that has come before it, but also some commentary on some currently relevant stuff that's going on in TTRPG domain. So, yeah, I wonder what that could be, and my opinions on that.
Is there something currently going on?
I'm gonna let everyone try to guess because that's just gonna be hilarious. I just want to see what everyone's thinking.
Comments below in the
Comment
podcast
below.
notes. We're not putting this on YouTube, are we? This one.
Come on the Discord and tell me what you think I'm talking about. I'd love to hear, honest and truly. It's open. I'm open for hearing it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Musk is writing D&D 7th edition now.
Start on that. Oh God. Yeah. Chigg, what are you looking forward to? Stuff that you're working on or for next year?
Well, I'm looking forward to running about 17 games next year for the podcast, apparently. Because I want to cover Unknown Armies. I want to cover Blades in the Dark. Somebody requested that I run another Star Trek game because they missed the last one. Could be anybody. Not pointing fingers.
Hi, it's me.
I think I suggested it after she said she wanted to play a Klingon security officer. Chigg.
No.
Not security officer, safety officer.
Oh, that was it. Safety officer, yes.
Yeah, we have to make sure that the safety railings around the warp core are just sharp enough.
Cool.
For safety.
I have to keep you safe so you can die with honor.
Yeah. They've got to wobble just enough.
You have to reload the rocks above the helm for when the ship gets shot. They drop on the helmsman.
We gotta practice your dodging moves. Nobody can see us moving back and forth.
No one can see you moving. Right.
Guys, they dodged everything I threw at them. It was amazing. Strong work. Take an experience. What about you?
God, next year, there's the Trash Humanism RPG quick start that we'll be working on, or the whole, we want to get a quick start out.
I'm looking forward to that.
The RPG. I say quick start because obviously it's the sensible thing to do with this type of project where you're creating a new RPG. We saw that with Eldritch Automata, and we've seen that with other games. So it makes sense to kind of follow that pattern to build confidence. I'm not revealing really anything, breaking an NDA by just going, we're doing things sensibly. But I mean, it's just been a bit of a wild ride, because Christina, who is La Destroy, the musician, so her and her partner have been are into Kingdom Death. They backed Eldritch Automata, so it's been quite interesting how they're fans of games that I like or I've worked on, and then I ran for Christina her first RPG. I ran a one-shot of Vampire. I played them through Make Blood Boil. So, and whereas Nathan, her partner's fully into RPG. So it's just been really interesting. Also, kind of working out. I think it's kind of useful because knowing how to onboard people into RPGs, and therefore I think that means we're all on the same kind of it's the same sort of mindset of what this what a quick start will be to get people on board with it. Strange Light Workshop will be out next year for Iron Kingdoms, so that's the ghost hunting in the Iron Kingdoms. So the rule system for D&D, well, they're already out. Quick's already covered. It's in Nightmare Empire.
Yeah.
I already wrote for that. But ghost hunting, it doesn't just cover ghost hunting. It covers demon hunting and Grimkin hunting, and
Yay.
Ooh,
the
nice.
D&D
Pumpkin, I'll do
5e
it.
system. The D&D 5e system in that game is modified to allow you to do procedural ghost hunting more easily. How to run that type of game. I don't know how the update to D&D 2024 works into the future of Iron Kingdoms, because I know some of the changes they've done to D&D are changes that are already part of Iron Kingdoms. So, like, we have equivalents in there already. So I think I don't know. I don't know what's
It's
happening.
backwards compatible.
Oh, fuck off! um, fucking wizards. Anyway, like I
If
said,
you're
there's
comfortable
two.
rewriting every rule, any game is backwards
Yeah.
compatible.
There's two scenarios to come out for Wrath and Glory. There's the Eldari one I spoke about. There's also one that is full Space Marine kill team for the Absolvers chapter that I also wrote. So that's going to be out as well next year. Obviously, it'll be good to start kicking off and then talking more about the Eldritch Automata war game. So that's going to be obviously like big mechs versus kaiju kind of thing. I've got feelings of how that should play versus what is already out on the market in that respect. What else is there RPG wise that I'll be working on, or games that I can talk about without breaking NDAs? Yeah, that covers it. I mean, let's be honest, like Cubicle 7 and I say Privacy Press Steamforge games is like my bread and butter of RPG writing, but there's two new projects as well to deal with. So yeah, that's kind of exciting, and it'd be good to do some more podcasting and try and just like make some time and find the energy. I think it's just been kind of a weird year for all of us, like, because we've had like either job transitions or moves, and I feel like we're all maybe in a better place than when we were originally. Like, there's a bit more certainty. I say that to David. I know you've had issues with like, admin and stuff.
Well, my contract's only up till next September, so I've got to move back to Europe. I'm moving back to Europe at some point next year.
I know you're into the treadmill of postdocs, which is a different field, but
different level of beast.
But that's different to like you've got your PhD done, so that uncertainty's gone.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. I've been doing this for long enough now.
Yeah, I know, but it's
the treadmill of every 2 years you need a new job. Yay!
And of course, this year's filled with like weirdness of like, I don't know, being exhausted by like politics, because like it's like we're going to deal with the Tories. And then it's like, oh, who's going to be in power? Oh no! And then we had like
November,
the
world
GSPR,
imploding.
whatever the fuck it is called, with
GSPR, yeah.
Oh, I don't even know, like with that, like how that's going to be dealt with yet, and we're dealing with that with some other stuff. And I don't know with future things with the US, with tariffs, lovely tariffs, whatever that's going to mean. So yeah, it's exciting times. Events. Are there events that we're going to be trying to make our way to this forthcoming year then?
Yes.
What is on your... I'll go through my list so far. So I know I've got small gaming conventions I'll be going to that are local. So there's two that are being run in Sheffield. No, three actually being run in Sheffield. There's one called Lead and Steel. There's another one that's called KrugerCon, which is being run by my gaming club that I go to. There's another one called ChillCon, which is a bit bigger again. That's moved to a larger venue, and that's in March. I'll mostly do PeachCon again. Obviously I'll do UK Games Expo, and I think I will actually try and get back down to Dragon Meet this year, because obviously I should actually have some like shit to demo.
Tabletop Scotland.
Yeah, I quite like to do that one, and therefore meet up with the guys from Rookery Publications again. So like Andy Law, Lindsay,
Eleanor,
and the team.
I've been told it's very cold.
Yeah, because what time of year does it take place at?
Oh no, it's in the
October.
middle of summer, but it's in an aircraft hangar.
Oh, fucking hell. Wow.
Outside Edinburgh.
Okay, that's interesting. And then we'll see what happens with respect to stuff in the US, because I think there might be an opportunity for Gen Con, but I'm not going to commit to that yet. So yeah, a lot of conventions this year. How about yourselves?
So I'm planning on. I was planning on going to GaryCon, not going to go to GaryCon. I'm going to try to get to C2E2 again. However, last year they didn't give me a professional badge. And so I went, well, fuck this. Because you still have to pay for a professional badge, but it's a lot less. And then, so even like one day badge with parking and everything like that in downtown Chicago, it was going to be like $150 to be able to go to C2E2 for one day.
Wow.
So that was a lot. That does include food, but it's still a lot. So I'm hoping to get to C2E2. I will be going to, let's see here, Origins. I will be going to Gen Con. I will be going to Gamehole Con. Possibly Save Against Fear again this year. I had to cancel, unfortunately, because I was extremely sick, and not with COVID, but I did not want to get pneumonia while traveling.
Mm.
And then
sensible.
and then I'm kind of hoping to get to PAX U this year.
Oh yeah, that'd be. I'd be up for, like, if I can't make it to Gen Con, I think PAX East or Unplugged
PAX East or
would be.
PAX Unplugged.
Yeah.
PAX East is more video gaming though than anything
Is
else.
it? Okay, so Unplugged,
Yeah.
because that's still PAX Unplugged is Boston, isn't it?
No, it's
No,
Philly.
it's Philadelphia.
Philly.
Oh yeah, interesting.
East
Cool.
is Boston, though.
Yeah, but
It's
the
still
convention
relatively
center,
east.
the convention center in Philly has the Reading Terminal, which is amazing food, and it's also right next to um Little China,
Yeah.
which has amazing food. And
I know a
amazing
few people who
shops.
live in Philly as well. Like Nick from Gehenna Gaming's in Philly.
Mm.
So
Excellent. Chig, events that you're interested in or will be planning on?
I mean, Gen Con, obviously, I kind of go every time they have one. But I would also like to check out PAX Unplugged this year if I can score it. If not, maybe PAX East. They do have tabletop gaming, but yeah, they are primarily a computer game kind of thing. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of good conventions in my area, so I have to travel for all of them. So it's expensive, but worth it.
Cool.
Okay, maybe I'll go to Gamehole Con. It sounded fun when Crystal told me about it.
Yeah, if you guys have not gone to Gamehole Con, it is really, really a lot of fun, and there are a lot of game developers there, like a lot. And one of the cool things is that most of them are actually like in the demo halls and in the areas running the games that they're playtesting, running the games that they've written for. So you actually get to play with the people that created the games, which is like one of the biggest draws for Gamehole Con.
That's cool. Right. Okay. Well, I think we're almost at the point of beginning to wrap up there. Let's see. So, what do we want? Okay. So, obviously, we've all seemed to have got a lot busier this year, which I think. Let's be honest. I think that's a good thing, because I think all the listeners of the podcast will know that Dark Days Radio has never been about trying to make money, as in be like an influencer, blah blah blah, raking thousands and millions of subscribers on YouTube, whatever. And it's been more of really so we can express what we like in gaming, explore what we like in gaming, and really therefore have a venue to like present our work, and so get picked up by actually do some work. So what do we want to what type of things do we want to try and do with Darker Days this year? I know we still kind of want to do these deep dives, and we've done some. I feel like we'll mostly keep to audio, because as much as they were good to put them on as video, it's a lot of work. So we should do the cult one that we still want to do. It seems like we want to do a cyberpunk red deep dive, a Mortborg deep dive. I think David, you were chatting about.
Yeah,
it's
we
definitely
could just
something
do
we wanna
like
look at.
a Borg,
Yeah,
not Star Trek, but a Borg. More.
yeah,
Yeah.
Berg. Um, but
I would
then
still like to do Black Ballad,
yeah,
even
Yeah.
though
yeah,
it's 5e setting.
yeah,
It's
sure.
like the setting itself is really good. Don't give me that look.
We've also got Blaze in the Dark. I know James
Yeah.
has been running some of
Yeah,
that recently as
Chigg
well.
as well wants to look.
I've
at
got
that.
the book and I've still not fucking read it, and that seems to be part and parcel of life as a
Yeah.
as a hobbyist.
Heart and Spire would be a great one.
Yeah,
Great two to do as well.
That would be good to get into. And yeah, so I think that's good. Obviously we want to keep up with doing our secret frequencies where possible with
Yep.
with things weirdness. Get back into that sort of research for those type of things. I want to keep doing some more Dark Hammer. I think I've just had a bit of a break from like purge of Warhammer stuff for a bit because I've been busy on other things.
I do have an idea that we could do with a book that is just come out for Imperial Maledictum.
Oh, the Inquisition books.
Inquisitors.
I've
Yeah.
got
Do
both
Inquisitors.
those books. Yeah, I've got both of those books on PDF. I've yet to read, but
Yeah, I'm just rereading Eisenhorn and realizing how useless he is.
oh yeah, right. So yeah, it'd be good to look at that to go back over that. I think we also want to do I want to cover like Lustria because there's a Lustria book there's also the Dwarf book is now out for
Yes.
Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. It's gonna be so there's that Dark Hammer, not Dark, Dark Iron. I want to cover Crix, and I want to cover we've covered the Orgoth. I'd like to also cover the Scorn as well because they're interesting factions for that game, for that setting.
Yeah, I would like to see where they've appeared in the new setting because
the Scorn haven't yet arrived in the current timeline. The Crix are back, obviously.
Yeah,
big style because I've painted up an army of them and they're fun.
I love the Crix. I love the Crix.
And yeah, obviously, I'm sure we'll do an episode or two on Trench Crusade and talk about like that as a setting because it's a alternate history horror setting. So I don't know how much you know about it, Crystal or Chig.
Trench warfare with churches.
So during the First Crusade, a gateway to hell gets opened up in the Holy Lands in Jerusalem, and so the entire area is basically plunged into it's basically a hellmouth, right? And the forces of hell come through, and so it is the year 1914 in that world, and so there's trench warfare, but against demons and against the followers of the legions of hell. Technology has obviously has moved along because you're looking at 800 years of warfare, so technology has accelerated further than it would be in our timeline. So there is a space program, there are rockets, missiles,
it's Warhammer 40k, but true grimdark. True grimdark.
They didn't pull back on things. So in the same way that like the designers and artists for Kingdom Death don't pull punches, they didn't pull punches in the art and design of this. So
it's John Blanche to the fucking extreme.
Yeah. So it's quite cool in that sense.
It's highly religious. You're all fighting religious orders. You've got nuns with guns, and
an interesting aspect is also the rule system is a 2d10 system. No, it's 2d10.
Okay.
So in that respect, it's quite similar to the way the system works. It's actually reminiscent of Cult and Forged in the Darkness kind of systems. So, you roll those 2d6 and then so it doesn't feel very swingy, which when you're exhausted by Warhammer and Age of Sigmar is quite good. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've got some terrain I'm gonna make for that to use also for Iron Kingdoms for War Machine. Yeah, so then I guess we'll do our same thing. Look for other horror RPGs to review. Get some other people on to interview. I think that'll be good to do interviews
Absolutely.
again more, because we haven't done that as much this year. I think that's been, again, just because trying to organize people. And I guess try to be a bit more present on social media with some of this stuff, because I feel like there's a good hobby. There seems to be a good hobby community, like writers community on Blue Sky and on
Yes.
Threads.
Yeah, I've found that Blue Sky has been awesome.
Good. So yeah, I'll make sure everyone's got access to that so we can share stuff there, whether it's stuff that we're working on personally or on for the podcast. Any other ideas of things you'd like to do for the podcast this coming year, or explore, or is that kind of, have we covered everything there?
Yeah, I think we
that's
covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're just busy. That's the problem. So you get busy, and you can't maintain these.
Yeah. I don't believe it's like 3 days till Christmas. I still feel like it's mid-January. Like, where the hell has this
please
year
remind
gone?
me. I still got shopping I gotta do.
Yeah, this year has flown by.
Yeah, there's so much I was meant to have done this year, and it's just like, oh crap, it's the end of the year. Where did it? What? Is my current train of thought.
I'm trying to think, like, in this year, other things that happen. Like, I can't believe, like, it's been 2 years since I passed my driving test, and then also this year, my car got driven into and had to go off for repairs, which was just frustrating. It wasn't that bad. And then, like, I'm almost done on, like, decorating the house since we moved in, like, 6 years ago, which is mental. And then we've got some other stuff, like, Sam's done her, has been designing a t-shirt designs to sell. So that's been, again, a lot of skills, like upskilling, and I've reached the limit of what I understand on, like, Photoshop, and so Sam has, like, shown me how to do things. So that's pretty useful as well. Like, vectorizing graphics is like vectorizing photos to turn into graphics to put into things is like a thing. And it's
that's the thing that I'm hoping to learn next year, because I've got back into all my art, and people are going, "Did you sell prints of it?" And I'm like, "What? No."
Yeah, and then it's just, and then
Crystal.
setting up a Shopify, that's been an entire thing and stuff. So it's
been a mad year, because I was just thinking, like, I'm just thinking, yeah, I only met Crystal like 2 months ago. It's like, no, it was at the beginning of the year, wasn't it? It's like, God, May, June. It's like, oh God,
yeah,
that's crazy.
So yeah, we got to hang out.
That was It's only Chigg now that I've not met.
I actually only exist online.
You only exist from about here upwards, right?
Yeah, Crystal said she met me once in person, but that's not true. I've been paying her off.
So all those photos with you and Mike, that's not you. That's just your doppelganger.
All photoshopped. I just, drag
Mike
and drop
is-
myself
Mike
in.
is-
There you go, Chris. Talk to Chigg. He knows how to do it. He's existed somehow.
Mike is also a figment of everybody's imagination.
Oh no, I've met Mike. Chris has met Mike.
Yeah,
Mike is real.
That's what they all say. That's what they
James
said
has
about
met
Harvey,
Mike
too.
as well. So that's good. Oh, and of course, that was a cool thing, wasn't it? The other thing, like, I guess was also a bit of a highlight, and David, you had that, was going into Warhammer World and seeing
yes,
book you've worked on being one of the first things
you see.
Walk into Warhammer World, which is
you open the door, you go around the corner, all the books are there, and it's like, I wrote that. And then everyone
the role-play game books are the first thing you see in Warhammer World before you get up into the main shop. So
I literally walked in and went, I wrote that, and people looked at me strange.
I did that at our local gaming store too. They had a couple of your books, and John and I were in the store, and I was like, "Oh my god, my friends wrote on these!" And like all the people in the store were like, "What?"
Yeah, it's quite weird, that, isn't it? That was only like 2 days ago as well. Seeing your own books out in print is a very,
really
very
weird.
It is good.
It's a really awesome feeling.
Well, I've been seeing people also get, because I haven't got hard copies of them yet, of like Threat Assessment Xenos or the Eldari book or Threat Assessment Demons and Heretics, right? And all those books look great, and so I'm waiting to like have some money to like get them. I might ask if I've got like a writer's discount so I can get them. But yeah, so right. I think that's.
Oh, that was another thing
I
that
think
happened this year. Thanks for everybody. We got Pete back on again. He's not been around for a while. We got Pete in for a game. That was good to see Pete again. So
He's been
Right.
busy, and
Yeah,
but
he
he's
has.
good.
He has been busy. He bought a new house as well.
yeah, it's got a very nice looking house.
And a
yeah.
new job.
And a new
He
job.
also had a new job.
Yeah, everyone's got a job. Job for you. Job for you. Job for you.
So I think that is everything. So we're going to try and get more stuff out. I know we've got an episode for a secret frequency to come out that Mike's going to put out. I will try and record something about crypts that I plan to do with James.
I still have live recordings that I have to put up from conventions.
Right.
So we'll have those coming up too.
Have all the Gen Con episodes gone out?
No.
Yes. Oh no. Oh
no. No, they have not. Both Mike and I were like, "Hey, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it?" And we both kind of passed it back and forth. And then we both had ADHD and forgot that it existed for a while. And then I pulled out my iPad and went, "Oh no."
Okay, and then I think the best way to round up is what has been like in the best possible way to cover it. What has been the most ridiculous bit of gaming drama that made the news that you just thought, oh my god, why is our hobby this mental?
Come on. We all know it's Elon threatening to buy Hasbro.
Yeah.
Right?
It is,
Come
isn't
on.
it?
The beginning of the year though was like Pinkertons being sent. Like did we forget about that?
Wait, that was this year?
That was this year. That was at the beginning of this year.
What did they get sent to deal with? They got sent to deal with who?
Some YouTuber got sent stuff early.
Yeah.
And he didn't know it
on
was
their
early,
channel.
and so he put it on his YouTube channel as of live open, and they sent Pinkertons to him. Like, what the?
I honest to God thought that was about 7 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm sure that was last year. What?
No,
I believe you. I believe you when you say it was this year. But yeah, in my mind,
we believe you, Crystal. But it just this year has been weird.
I know. Hold on, I'm looking it up. Let's see Pinkerton.
I'm trying to think of other things. Yeah, Musk wants to buy because he obviously follows absolute.
Oh no, it was 2023, so it wasn't this year.
Oh.
Damn it!
But yeah, the Musk thing. It's definitely Musk.
So it's definitely Musk now. Yeah,
it's just so stupid. Like because again, it's just the people that are blathering on about this are the same people that they mostly watch lore videos, but they don't fucking play these games, right? It's the same thing with 40K.
Yeah, they don't.
Everyone that fucking bitches about it. Do they actually collect and engage in the hobby in any meaningful way other than watching YouTubes about it? They fucking don't.
Nope.
I loved it when the whole Henry Cavill thing came out and said, look, we've all got it sorted now. It's going to happen. We've sorted out. These are the shows we're going to do. And watching all of YouTube melt going, but we thought he'd quit because Femstodes.
Yeah,
fucking idiots.
God. Yeah, that was also just ridiculous.
Yeah, the Femstodes thing. That was another fun thing that happened.
Yeah, that was the female custodies in wait until we are going to get I hands down believe it won't be too long until we do get female Space Marines because
I still want to do an all female trans NB Space Marine game.
Well, technically they are. That's what they are.
I know, but like make it very pronounced.
Yeah.
One thing to wonderfully end this on then with raging about that is that all the people who are like, they've changed the law, they've changed the set law of like, do you know that the Primarchs weren't a thing until halfway through 2nd edition?
Yeah, right.
Before that, Lehman Russ was an Inquisitor and Obi-Wan Kenobi existed in the universe.
Yeah.
Oh, I love lore like that.
Yeah.
Like,
and lore changes just because it has to like, you know,
keep it alive.
Again, like people don't realize, and this has always been the thing, like as much as you can rail against, say, the worst excesses of capitalism, the other thing is capitalism loves expanding its fucking customer base, and the best way to do that is to be more inclusive and not to the detriment of the law, just make it more appealing to more people.
Yeah.
And I just don't get
so hang on. Introducing new races, that's okay. But changing the sex of or introducing females is not okay. So what?
Also, are we expecting next year that we might finally get Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 out?
No,
Maybe no.
I thought they
No.
killed that.
No, it's still
no,
chugging
it's
along.
still in. It's still.
No, I think they just changed developers or something.
What, for the third time?
I think so. Yeah. They-
Actually, speaking of computer games that are worth playing, that if you definitely haven't played, worth playing. Yes, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, the turn-based RPG,
yeah.
fantastic. Like, hands down, fucking fantastic. You will all enjoy it. You can either be the most zealous, religious, to the Emperor person in it, or you can be an
Puritan.
absolute heretic, or you can try and run the line and just be a good person, which is really difficult. It's surprising.
No one's good in 40k.
You
Don't
get
say
offered
that. That doesn't happen.
The amount of times you get offered the option of, do you want to blow up everyone on this planet? And you're like, they're going, oh shit, it'd be really easy. Like, I wouldn't have to deal with anything then. But you're like, I'm going to be nice. It is good. And
Space
trust
Marine
me,
2 came out.
the love interests, the romance options in that game are also hilarious.
Yes, that set off the fanboys as well, didn't it? Because you can be a lesbian.
Yeah. It's
I
great.
love
So if you
this
get the chance,
so
play
much.
it. It's fantastic. What
I'm
other
happy
good-
to run an absolutely off the wall, insane
I'm trying to
Wrath
think
and
of other
Glory
good.
queer game.
Actually, were there any other good computer games? I played, and to finally wrap up, I played a computer game called Don't Scream, which is it's like it's like it's found footage, and so you're carrying a video camera. You have to go from location to location, and without making a sound. So the microphone is on, and it's detecting what noise you're making. So
Oh,
it also
good
has
Lord.
It has jump scares in there, and also has slashers that will chase you. But thus far, playing it, every time I've played it, I've not had a slasher come after me, and I've survived the full 13 odd minutes of not making a sound. And I think that's because I'm too desensitized. I'm just like, it's a jump scare. Yeah, whatever.
That's the problem of being a massive
It's
horror
terrible.
fan. It's all just like, yeah, saw that coming. Yeah, they're around that corner.
See, I wouldn't.
Look up.
I wouldn't. Here's the thing, though, is that I wouldn't like scream or anything like that. But I would definitely not be able to keep my mouth shut for the whole thing because I'd be like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
Coming at me.
So that's,
right? Like,
that was
bring
fun to
it.
play. I'm just trying to think of other stupid things this year, like in gaming. There must
Sweet
be
Dracula popped his head up again.
Right, okay. I'm not.
Yeah,
let's
there's
not
that.
comment.
Yeah, let's not. Let's.
I'm not-
Well, that's all that needs to be said. Moving on.
There must be some other. There must have been some other dumb gaming news out. Really?
Oh,
you
what was
can't
that
just muck.
poster that Mike sent us from PAX? Was it? He put a shot of one of those standees from PAX.
Oh, right.
That was quite hilarious. But that
Oh, yeah, because again, you've got people. I saw people posting
Big
again about
pokey.
about to do with like safety tools in games. How we don't need them and everything. It's just like, oh, for God's sake, like these people. Yeah, I think that's it. That's kind of the roundup. Like, it's just AI is bad. Like, no, I'm not going to say AI is bad. I'm going to say, because I hate the fucking term AI. AI generated dog shit is bad. Like, because I use machine learning during coding. That's because
Yeah.
it doesn't actually replace your code. It doesn't replace you as a person. It's just very clever autocomplete. And you actually still have to write tests, and you still have to make sure it works, and you have to do stuff. It's not just go, Bing, it does the work for you, and you fuck off. But that's the problem with right now with RPGs and games is the amount of like crap, absolute trash coming out. Right, it's just flooding.
so much ML, AI,
Yeah.
generative AI crap coming out.
So that combined with Musk being a complete prick, and trying to buy elections and things because
Trying?
well,
I was
He
gonna say-
successfully did that.
Oh, well,
yeah.
he wants to give like a ridiculous amount of money to the Reform Party in the UK, which is like just terrible. Like,
He wants to
'cause-
become the God Emperor of Earth. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah. Oh, maybe for off chat, but Germany's going to sue. It's
Good.
either German lawmakers or some German politicians are going to sue Elon Musk.
Good.
Excellent. Good.
So
That's required.
Somebody needs to, because the USA sure ain't gonna do it.
Always a good way to end. Well, last thing to end on. What's been a fun TV series to watch this year or film that's been good for
Secret Level?
role-playing?
The
for
the last season of Lower Decks.
Oh man, the last season of Lower Decks.
I've not seen it.
Good news, you have 5 years to catch up on.
Yeah, I
no. I've seen like I've not seen the last season. I've seen up.
It's good. It's good.
I've been watching. I've actually. I mean, it has its faults, but I've actually June Prophecy's been okay. It's been all right. Though I have introduced Sam to, and we've almost finished watching all of The Boys because I watched it all, and I was like, yeah, you need to watch this, and it's been like just
the first.
reliving.
You've got to get past the certain parts of it and understand what it's trying to do. Otherwise, it can be.
It is still. It's amazing that it's done that many seasons and has achieved pure satire when other shows out there, when it becomes hard to do satire when the real world is. So
It's They ended it exactly how the world has ended. On a lighter note, Chig?
Star Wars Skeleton Crew has been real fun. It's the Goonies in Star Wars. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, really? Nice. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, if
you I stopped my Disney.
Kids.
They
need your money.
What was it? The Late Night with the Devil was a really good film to watch.
Oh my god,
that was so good.
Sam bought the special edition version of it, so we actually have it comes with I think booklets and stuff.
Cool.
In verse, it also comes with a VHS, so we need to buy a VHS player again.
Oh, that's so cool.
I need to buy a tape deck because I got sent for the trash humanism graphic, which no one's going to see this because obviously we're audio, but I've got the cassette tape that goes of the album for that.
Very cool.
So I think I need to buy a cassette tape player, and I think I'm gonna have to also get an MP3 player because not MP3, mini disc player.
Oh my god, mini disc! That takes me back. Wow,
because it's cool.
I think that'll be harder to find than a cassette player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Late Night with the Devil, I think, has been particularly good.
There was a folk horror movie I saw, which I thought would be great for folk horror stuff, called The Moor, and it's based up just outside where Chris lives. It's based on the Yorkshire Moors, and it goes places. It's an English thing, and it goes places.
Oh, another one I watched that stars Mike Frost from Spaced and Hot Fuzz. I think was called
Nick Frost.
Nick Frost, right? Yeah, Mike's a character in the in Space. Is Black Cab. It's again kind of folk horror-ish.
Okay.
So
the name rings a bell. The name rings a bell.
It's pretty harsh, like ghosty stuff.
Dead Boy Detectives.
Yeah, but they cancelled it.
I know, but it's still good. I liked it. Don't give me that.
Netflix canceling something good? I am shocked.
I'm trying to think the other horror films. I'm gonna
the best horror thing that has been released this year, I think, is the Pac-Man episode of Secret Level. Because my fucking god,
screwed up episode.
I've not watched that yet.
I was watching and going, how is this Pac-Man? And then you kind of slowly realize, and then you get to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger pretend he's a king.
We watched Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney, which is very scary, kind of like it has parallels to Exorcist. Is it Exorcist Origin? Is it Exorcist Origins? Or no, it wasn't Exorcist. What's the other one? Oh no, the Omen Origins. Is it? First Omen. That's it.
Was it this year that the remake of Hellraiser came out, or was that last year?
That was last year. The remake of Hellraiser.
Because I thought that was very good.
There's still, I think, a Hellraiser TV series still forthcoming.
It's in the works. Alien
First
Romulus
Omen was
came out
really
this year,
good.
though.
Oh yeah, what was that like?
It was entertaining. I recommend it. It was good. It's the
waiting
best
so we don't
alien
have to pay it.
film in the last 15 years easily.
Not hard.
I know it's on Sky to watch. Is Abigail, which is a vampire horror. I think she's like a ballerina, isn't she?
On
And
that
people
note,
break in.
What We Do in the Shadows, new TV series, last series coming out.
Final
Yeah.
season. It was so sad when it ended, and Lower Decks ended in the same week.
I'm trying to think of other things because like Sam on Threads has put like all the horror films we've watched through this year, and we've watched a lot. Fucking hell, we've watched a lot. Oh, that was a weird one. We watched a film called No Filter, so it fits into that thing of like social media horror,
Mm.
and it was quite interesting because obviously it's how I think it's basically, is it AR or is it a haunting kind of thing? So I think that's very interesting. I think with respect to what you've been saying, Crystal, with your primer on AI, I think there's a really interesting space here to do with what is reality and what is not, when you've got supernatural things that you may or may not be able to see because they're ghosts and shit, but then also you've got technology which is also impacting what we believe is real or not. I think that's quite fun and interesting. What was another good one we watched? We watched a slasher called Thanksgiving, which basically is a slasher film set at Thanksgiving. The guy runs around looking like a pilgrim and with a big axe. So that's hilarious.
One not to watch is Tarot.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
It was awful. Oh my god.
In a Violent Nature was really disturbing because it's filmed in such a way with the lighting and the sounds. It's like a full nature documentary, but it's actually just a slasher. So it's quite brutal in that sense. What was the other new one that we watched? Oh, I got Sam to watch the original Warlock film with Julian Sands because it's great. It's not
Another
good.
one not to watch is The Crow.
Oh, we haven't watched that remake. Oh, and of course, the other one I'm going to end on is Longlegs. Longlegs
is that good?
It's disturbing.
Oh, disturbing.
Yeah, it's just consistent dread.
Cool.
Okay.
I fancy some anxiety tonight. I think I'll put that on.
Yeah, and then if you want a palate cleanser, you can watch the Wishmaster films. They're always great.
Yeah, they're great.
Is Nick Cage in Longlegs? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, is he?
We also watched. We also watched the entire Hell House LLC series.
Oh God,
which is
you
fucking
bad man.
There was some good bits in it, but it's hard work at times.
If you want a fun Nick Cage movie, I think it came out either end of last year, early this year. I can't remember what it's called, but he basically does a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of movie, and he has no lines in it whatsoever, but he's the main character. That's
Renfield was also really good. I can't remember when that came out though.
Last year, but Renfield was very
that was very good,
last summer, but that was very good.
Oh, and then the other one we watched was VHS Beyond. That was very different for VHS because it was heavy on aliens.
That's like the 6 movies, isn't it? 6 short stories.
Yeah.
I got halfway through that, and I don't know, I lost interest. So, but Willie.
Oh, poppers! Sam just said
that's what
poppers
it's called. Don't look at me.
VHS Beyond, and I was like, oh god, yeah, that segment in it was weird. Oh, and another one that we watched. It's not actually a relatively new film. The Borderlands. It's a 2013 found footage one, and that's quite interesting kind of folk horror kind of.
I think I've seen that
one. Oh god, yeah, watched a lot of horror films. Just look through Sam's thread, and we have watched a lot. Like we watched The Deliverance, watched Willow Creek, watched Devil's Pass again, Orphan First Kill. God, there's just so many. Like literally, if you go on Sam's threads, there's like a whole list of horror films we've watched in like the last year. It's ridiculous.
Maybe we should start up a. Didn't you, Crystal and Sam, start up a?
We did. It was hard to maintain.
Kinda,
at the time. We want. It'd be interesting to try and do that type of thing. And Night Swim, not great film. Like
no, that's fucking awful.
Yeah, there's a lot. Anyway, right, I think that's everything. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, you have any comments or anything, you can find us www.dark-days.org. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Twitter. You will not find us on anymore. We are gone from there. It is just Twitter. And then you can email us at darkerdaysradio@gmail.com. Please email us there, especially if you're interested, if you need anyone of the crew to, if you're interested in what we do and want us to write on anything as well, that's always good. Or to be a guest on your podcast, talking about what we write as well. And then I think that's it. So thank you everyone for taking time out to record this, and we'll speak again in the new year. There will be episodes, I'm sure, dumping very soon. I will get this episode out most probably for before New Year's. So there'll be episodes.
Get it out for
before
Christmas
this
so
one.
people can ignore their family by listening to
I'll
our
see if I can
voices.
do that if I'm bored tomorrow. I will try and do that tomorrow. I've got time.
I feel sorry for anybody who listens to this on Christmas and thinks this is better than having Christmas dinner.
Right. Well, that's it. So goodbye for now then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
This has been an episode of Darker Days Radio. Special thanks to Occam's Laser for the intro, outro, and new bumper music from their hit album, 9 Circles. Check out the rest of their work at occamslaser.bandcamp.com.